Day 8 of Roland Garros saw the expected and also unexpected exits of two legends in the sport, Roger Federer and Serena Williams. Federer withdrew from the tournament ahead of his match with Matteo Berrettini, while Serena bowed out to Elena Rybakina 6-3-7-5. Getting straight into the Serena match, I think this was a very winnable one for Williams. Rybakina played well, giving credit to her, but it's not like she just blew Serena off the court. I think we can all agree that Serena didn't play her best tennis today, which provided Rybakina a lot of opportunities. Williams came out pretty flat from the beginning, but the biggest problem was her serving. Surprisingly, Serena's first serve percentage wasn't poor in comparison to her previous match against Collins, serving at 57% for the entire match. However, she was struggling to back up points on her first serve, just winning 59% of first serve points for the match, which is really bad. Against Collins, she won 80% of points when getting the first serve in because she served better there and backed it up with better ground strokes. Serena didn't quite hit her targets in this Rybakina match, and whenever she did have balls to dictate with, she flubbed them and let Rybakina back into the point, ultimately the game. A lot of the time, she gave Elena fairly easy balls to dictate with, just going short and in the middle of the court, which the Estonian took full advantage of. She wasn't spreading the court and getting Rybakina on the move, because whenever she did do this, 9 times out of 10, she won the point. But she didn't do much of that, which costed her. If Serena held probably 3 more times than she did in those first 2 sets, she would have won this match in 3. Rybakina also let her back into the sets, the second especially, squandering 2 of her break leads. Unfortunately though, Serena couldn't consolidate and raise her level of play, which ultimately sent her packing. I think Serena being somewhat unprepared played a role in her poor performance today. Serena had never played Rybakina, and despite the Estonian being a top 25 player, she might have never even seen her play. But after the Collins match, Serena said that these lower ranked players always peak when they play her, so she honestly should have expected this. As Sabalenka Stan on Twitter said, if she'd played more on the tour, she'd face the likes of a Rybakina or even Kudermetova and be prepared for their games in these pressure moments. Elena served very well in this match and she hit her spots good, which Serena was simply not ready for. Also, Rybakina had a pretty bad 12 months before the clay swing. She notably flopped after her strong 2020 start, and I was actually going to make a video titled The Top Players Who Flopped After COVID, which she was one of my main inspirations for, but I guess I'm going to scrap that one now. While on the topic of preparation, I have a feeling that Serena didn't practice as much or as hard for this match because she played solid against Collins and thought that this was good enough. Against Begu and Buzarnescu, she had clear issues to improve upon, her serve and her forehand. Yeah, I don't think that she pushed to find additional things to work on here. Then too, one of my Twitter mutuals, Meka Mate, said that Patrick Monaglou, Serena's coach, was too focused on Tsitsipas as he was in the stands during his match with Krenya Busta, which was right before Serena's match. I agree with this and feel that Patrick isn't focusing as much on Serena as he should, but that's a whole other conversation for a whole other video. But speculations aside, Serena simply could have just had a poor day. This match was very weird to me because it had all the makings of a Serena comeback, so for her to lose this match in straights was very off-putting. It reminded me a lot of the Kenin match from 2 years ago at the French, where Serena honestly could have and should have pushed it to 3, but she kept letting her opponent back in. Also, the way this match ended was super anticlimactic, with Serena gifting Rybakina the final game with a bunch of errors, and Elena basically having no reaction at all to the biggest win of her career. After the match, the Kazakhstanian said, "I'm so happy with the match today. It's difficult to expect anything because you watch on TV, and that's completely different when you come on court and you feel the power and everything. I knew that Serena's serve was going to be difficult for me to return. She's powerful, but I was ready. Then after a few points, I felt comfortable, so nothing." So that explains Rybakina's personality. She's very icy and chill, which I find intriguing because there are so few players like that on the tour. Now looking at Serena's remarks, she was notably positive about the outcome today.
Yeah, I'm in a much better place than when I got here. I was just literally trying to win a match because it had been a really difficult season for me on the clay. And although I love the clay, I was just like, if I could just win a match. Yeah, it was definitely close, and I'm so close. There's just literally a point here and a point there that could change the whole course of the match, and I'm not winning those points. And that is like literally could just change everything. I don't know. I wouldn't say the same about me, but everyone feels different. Maybe this particular week, but in general, I wouldn't say that.
Serena also dodged a question about asking whether this would be her last clay match. I'm kind of excited to switch surfaces. Historically, I've done pretty well on grass. I've done pretty well on clay too, just not this particular season. It's good to see that Serena is optimistic about things, and she is right. She hasn't had a good clay season at all, so with all things considered, this is somewhat of a solid result. She will be disappointed though that she didn't take advantage of this favorable bottom half draw, which doesn't have any top 20 players remaining, nor women who have reached Slam semifinals. Rybakina next placed Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, who defeated Victoria Azarenka 5-7, 6-3, 6-2. It's just crazy how we could have had a Serena Azarenka quarterfinal, but instead we have this. Anyways, I'm happy for Pavlyuchenkova because she's been knocking on the door for a long time at the majors, and this seems like her best chance to finally make a semi and even final. The other quarterfinalists are Tamara Zidenzek and Paula Badosa. Badosa, who I actually picked to make the semifinal, took out 2019 finalist Marketa Vondrousova 6-4, 3-6, 6-2. Then Zidenzek, who beat Andreescu in the opening round, won her round of 16 match over Sorana Cirstea 7-6, 6-1. Badosa will be a favorite here because results-wise, she has had the better clay season, reaching the semis at Charleston and Madrid, then winning Belgrade. However, as we saw with her match against Anna Bogdan, Badosa could falter a bit knowing that she's the favorite here. She's currently ranked 35th while Tamara is 85th in the rankings. I'm going to root for Zidenzek to make the final solely because she's a big underdog, and then should she make it there, she can bow swiftly to Sloane and Coco. Now discussing the other major story of the day, Roger Federer's withdrawal from Roland Garros. I kind of told you all to expect this in my previous video as he was hinting at it in his post-match presser. However, he made it official this morning with the following statement. After discussions with my team, I decided to pull out of the French Open today. After 2 knee surgeries and over a year of rehabilitation, it's important that I listen to my body and make sure that I don't push myself too quickly on my road to recovery. I am thrilled to have gotten 3 matches under my belt. There is no greater feeling than being back on court. See everyone soon. So yeah, as I said previously, this wasn't really a shock because Federer said before the tournament that the French wasn't a huge priority for him and that the real focus was on grass. I feel that Roger accomplished his mission, which was to get some matches in, and now he feels more match fit heading into the grass season over to Halle and Wimbledon. Now Roger did face some criticism from tennis fans who saw this act as cowardly. I do understand where people are coming from because it's good to play all the tournaments on all the different surfaces with the same commitment. However, I think that Roger did what was best for him, which was not push himself too much for a tournament that he was unlikely to win and just instead preserve himself for the grass. In fact, I wish that Venus took a page out of his book. I do think it sucks though that Dominic Koepfer doesn't get a chance to compete as he played well, but it is what it is. In regards to Roger's withdrawal, the French Open tournament made a statement saying this. The Roland Garros tournament organizers have learned that Roger Federer has withdrawn from the 4th round of the tournament. We are sorry about the withdrawal of Roger Federer, who put up an incredible fight last night. We were all delighted to see Roger back in Paris where he played high-level matches. We wish him all the best for the rest of the season. People were very critical of this statement, and they felt that the event and media in general were much more favorable to Roger's decision to pull out over Naomi Osaka's departure from the tournament. I understand the criticism, but I do think that there are differences here. After Naomi withdrew, she was met with praise and sympathy from everyone, similar to what Roger got from his supporters. The tournament did give a pretty favorable statement once Naomi withdrew, but them branding her after the first round win was ridiculous, and they deserve all the smoke for that. Just the perception of Federer is different in my opinion in comparison to other players. He's much more respected and well regarded in the tennis realm of things, which is why he's granted special privileges and favorable press. The NBC broadcast today, matter of fact, talked non-stop about Federer's withdrawal. Even during Serena's match, they took up 3 games worth of Serena's match just to talk about Roger's withdrawal, which is, I think, ridiculous considering especially that Serena is American and NBC is an American-owned or based network. And I think it's just really disappointing. Serena is the biggest name in American tennis. Once again, NBC is American-based and American-owned, and instead you're talking about a man who was withdrawn from the tournament, not even due to injury, but to personal choice. Meanwhile, you have one of the game's greatest tennis players alive, or she was alive at the moment, and fighting for the tournament, and then they were saying, oh, Federer's withdrawal was the biggest story of the tournament, while Serena is losing. It's just sad, to be honest, but it is what it is once again. Focusing on the rest of the men's results, there wasn't really drama at all. Everything was straightforward. Stefano Tsitsipas beat Pablo Carreño Busta 6-3, 6-2, 7-5. He next faces Daniil Medvedev, who surprisingly dominated Christian Garin 2-1-5. I keep saying this, but Medvedev has been playing so well this event. Stefano's too, but his level was more expected than the Russians. If you told me a week ago that these two would be playing in the quarters, I'd go with Tsitsipas because of his greater clay court presence. However, now that Daniil is clearly enjoying the red dirt and holds a 6-1 head-to-head record over Steph, I feel that he's the slight favorite. I'll talk more about this in my preview video of this match coming soon. Alexander Zverev joins his peers in the last 8, dominating Kei Nishikori 6-4, 6-1, 6-1. This was a very disappointing match, but credit to Zverev, he played great, and his defensive skills were excellent too, scrambling for nearly every ball. He would be the big favorite in his next one against Alejandro Davidovich Fokina, who beat Federico Delbonis 6-4, 6-4, 4-6, 6-4. This was a great effort from the Spaniard because prior to this match, he played 2 consecutive 5-setters, so props to him for getting it done. Looking forward to day 9, Coco Gauff is first up on Philippe Chatrier and takes on Ons Jabeur. Then Djokovic meets young Italian Musetti. Then we have another match between legend and next-gen Italian and Nadal Sinner, followed by Iga Swiatek playing against Marta Kostyuk. On Suzanne Lenglen, Sloane Stevens meets Barbora Krejcikova, then Schwartzman and Struce square off, followed by Sakari and Sonia. That's it for this lengthy Day 8 recap, and let me know your thoughts about Serena's loss, Federer's withdrawal, and the upcoming matchups in the comment section below. Also, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post the Day 9 recap and the match previews. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today.